Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Great, 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 man. As always, all yourself.
Coach, I'm doing absolutely great. Coach, I want to get right to it today. We're going to chop this thing up. I know a lot of times, especially when we deal with anything dealing with mental health, a lot of people shy away from the topics, subject, and it's something that really should have been addressed many, many, many decades ago, man, because we struggle. We struggle today. What you're seeing today, we struggle with our mental health, man, because our behavior shows, and then our emotional and our psychological and our social well-being a lot of times is not well. It's not well. It's not well. And when we deal with our mental health, we talking about everyone who hear me. It affects how you think, it affects how you feel, and it affects how you act, you know. And it comes from different factors. It can be biological, come from genes or brain chemistry, life experiences, trauma through some type of abuse, or it could just come through family history or mental health problems. But it's so important and it's so sad that we shy away from it. And you hear about mental health, you hear about it, but a lot of people are not really focused on it to really get their mental health together. And so today, this is what I want to talk to you about. Does the black man, I want to do the man first. I may come back and do the woman because it hits on both sides. But today I want to talk about the black man. And I want to, from conversations, of course, I've had, does the black man suffer from PTSD? That's what I want to talk to you about today, Coach. Does the black man suffer from PTSD? And I know the things we talk about a lot of times are unpopular. It's unpopular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I understand that. But this is something that should have been addressed many, many years ago. And there's a possibility that if it was addressed many years ago, that as a people and definitely as an individual, we can be in a better place in life dealing with our mental health. I put it like that right there, our mental health. And when we speak on mental health, it doesn't garner enough attention as it should. It just doesn't. It doesn't draw
Why you
enough.
feel that way though? Why you feel that's the way it is? I mean,
Well, because every time, and I just speak from us putting videos out, that anytime we put anything dealing with mental health, it be some of the lowest viewed videos. It be some of the lowest viewed videos from us dealing with it. And then as I look around, and I'm gonna get to it too by you asking me that question. As I look around, I can see by our behavior that we're not doing well mentally.
true, true.
Yeah. So does that answer you? I can see it. I can see it.
I I feel, man, I really believe we move in certain directions when we directed by society. I don't think we really realize that. And I'm talking about on a large scale. If this is depicted as popular, or we should roll with that, seems to be rolling with that. I don't think we're really looking at life like, look, man, you need to focus on what is beneficial to us. I don't care what anybody's saying. Yeah, we can pay attention to that, but get down to the brass tack, like folks used to say. Focus was important to us. You know what I mean? I will make
Mhm.
us better. As a man thinking, or man or woman thinking, so shall he or she be. And if you get your mind right, you know what follows. Why would society want you to get your mind right? It's just my thoughts, So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's good. And that's a problem that we have, especially a lot of us mentally has been westernized to follow. We don't, yeah, yeah. And just like the religions do the same thing to us mentally, it enslaves us to just follow. So that's why, as an individual, you're gonna have to begin to check yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to begin to check yourself. It's not easy, because most of us, and I would say most of us, from behavior, we follow. We follow. We are followers. And a lot of us can't think for ourselves, and we need to begin to sit down with ourselves and be able to think things out for ourselves as an
True. Yeah.
individual on how you would want your life to be.
To be,
You don't yeah, you don't just have to go with it just because that's the way it's been going for so long, or that's the way society say that's the way it should go. Now that'll mess you up every time. As an individual, you have to have your own brain and be able to sit down and have your own thoughts and be able to think things out yourself. And that's where we are not at. And that's a problem that we're having because we haven't learned how to deal with and how to address our own mental issues. That's the problem we have as individuals. And because if we do, coach, I guarantee you that if you sit down as an individual and begin to analyze your life and really think about some things and really be willing to admit that something may be wrong, especially if you could just look at your life and see how your life is going, some things that you need to clean up. So a lot of us won't admit that it's some things we need to clean up as an individual. And I know that's one of the biggest problems because if we do that, I guarantee you, it'll begin to change our lives, coach. And I want to say this right here, and our behavior, it shows that we suffer from something. I want them to get that. Our behavior shows that we suffer from something. We come from different places, we come from different backgrounds, but I want to tell you, like I always tell you, there are over 200 mental disorders. And you can pull it up for yourself, coach. Anytime you get a chance and everybody else, you can pull it up and you can see them from A to Z, all the way through. Every mental disorder, starting at all the A's, the B's, the C's, the D, you can just pull it up. And I guarantee you, out of all of the disorders that are out there, it's over 200 of them. You have one of them. Some of us have several of them. I guarantee you, because I don't know if you ever looked at the list, but you could just go and pull
No,
up. Yeah, you could just go pull up mental
I know I
disorders.
got something. So I ain't even look. I ain't gotta look at the list.
You understand?
That's why I keep myself in a certain frame of mind and keep away from certain things. And then two, yeah, disorders, fine. But you also got everyday life and everyday occurrences compounding what you already have. As a
Absolutely.
black man and black woman, I'm talking about real. You are seeing things that you know what they're saying it is, that's not what it is. And you got to keep that balance. So, yeah, I mean, I get it.
And here's the thing from what you just said. A lot of us are not admitting that we have some type of disorder. We have some type of mental disorder. Now watch this. When you're dealing with everyday occurrences, you don't understand that you're gonna behave in a certain way that disorder that you haven't worked on or healed
True.
from,
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? You're gonna handle a situation based on that
yeah.
disorder because you haven't addressed that disorder. It's something we got to think about. We got to address it. We got to share this information. We got to move this information. We not moving this information so we can get this information. So don't let the stigma of the word mental health scare you away because you think someone is saying that you're crazy. Anytime I just go back years and years, every time somebody talk about mental health, the first thing a lot of people do, they will get offended. No, I'm not
But
saying, go ahead
I
on.
mean, look at it for what it is. And I'm not being facetious, but don't we have to be a little bit crazy, man? to live the way we live in the society in which we live in, to endure, to persevere, don't we have to be a little bit crazy?
I just told a young man the other day, you got to keep a certain edge on you. I
I'm
just,
telling you.
because you're dealing with other people who has an edge.
Yeah,
So just because you are
yeah,
working on yourself and you're working on healing, you better keep a little edge about yourself so you can handle what's really going on in
yeah.
society as well.
Mhm.
I just had that conversation.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. You better keep a certain edge about yourself. Don't calm yourself down too much. And you know that in society, most people are dealing with these mental illnesses and they're letting theirs out. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So you're gonna have to keep a little edge to make sure that keep that side over there. Don't try to keep it under control as much as you can, but don't just get rid of it because you need it in this society that we're in.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great point. And I tell you this right here, if you could, it'll simply help you. I want everybody to hear this. It'll simply help you, coach, if you can identify what you may be dealing with mentally.
Definitely, definitely. I know that. Yeah,
If you can just identify it,
yeah,
it can help you. I want everybody to get that. So let's take a look at PTSD. Let's take a look at it. And that's post-traumatic stress disorder, one of the disorders. It's a psychiatric condition that may occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event or a series of traumatic events. And you would often experience the events as emotionally, physically harmful, or life-threatening. I want to think about that. Post-traumatic stress disorder, something that has happened, some type of event that has happened to you, or something you have witnessed, and then it's stuck in what they call the subconscious mind. I want everybody to get that, coach. And when it triggers, it either messes with you emotionally, it messes with you physically, or you can be harmful, or it could be life threatening to you once it triggers. That's what that's what you see, coach. You're seeing a lot of PTSD and a lot of people haven't been diagnosed with it. And so now when you see the behavior of certain things, it never surprises me because I'm understanding now the more I study the brain, the more I study the psychology, the more I look into these things, I say, okay, oh wow, I see what's going on. I know what's wrong. They may didn't know what was going on. And that's why a little earlier, I was just saying it's so important that you find out what disorder you may be dealing with so you are able to handle it when this society something jump off. You understand?
yeah.
Yeah, 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 you something jump off. And and to suffer is to experience or be subjective to something bad or unpleasant. And both PTSD and suffering can cause you to become an emotional wreck. Both of them. Both of them.
Mhm.
I'm going to share with you what's going on, coach, what you're seeing. And it's common for us over time, we would hear about someone in the military having PTSD, especially someone who has been to war, for what they
Yeah.
have experienced mentally. And we experience PTSD from things we went through, especially as a child, that could have come from generational trauma.
Mm.
Mm. You could be experiencing something whereas your mother and father went through something with their mother and father that they didn't heal from. And now
True.
you're getting
Yeah.
the effects of what your
Mm.
parents went through. So I want everybody to kind of think about it. We got to start thinking about this because this is what's happening. And when we talk about generational trauma, we talking about where it's a psychological and emotional wound that have accumulated over time and transferred to future generations. I want them to get it so they can understand what's going on. And then you begin to feel the symptoms in multiple ways. Watch this right here. You wondering why you're dealing with anxiety, depression, stress. Coach, it's a reason that you have a, not you per se,
I got you. I got you. I
it's a
got you.
reason that you have a substance abuse problem. There's a reason. We're not addressing the cause. We're not addressing the reason. You drinking alcohol excessively, there is something wrong. A lot of times, especially when you're doing drugs and alcohol, a lot of times, if it's not biological, a lot of times it's something that you're trying to escape.
Yeah.
It's something, a lot of times, that we got to start addressing our mental issues that we're having. And when you talk about smoking, that's one of the leading causes of death. And you constantly smoking, and you know
Mhm.
that it's not good for you. That lets me know something is wrong. But if you're continuing, especially as you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and coach, it haven't dawned on you yet that I got to take care of myself physically. Something is wrong mentally. I just want whoever hearing me, especially at that age, and you're not taking care of yourself mentally. Forget the spiritual part. You got to get the mental part together first. I just had that conversation with someone say everything starts with the spirit first. No, if I want to be successful in something, I can have discipline, I can have self-control, I can have all the things that come from within me. But mentally, if I haven't figured out what I want to put those things into, it don't mean nothing. So mentally, I got to find out what it is I want to do, what I want to be, and then I connect that to those principles. So, coach, we struggling mentally, and we got to address
And
it.
ain't got to be a lot of us from because if you're observing, like I'm observing, that's a lot of us, man.
That's a
That's
lot
a
of us.
whole lot of us. I'm telling you, man. That's a whole. And I'm talking about the age range is as wide can be, man. That's a lot of us, man. You know, speaking of which, man, I think I was going to my Kroger's a couple of days ago, man, and I looked and look again. All I'm gonna say is these two young ladies should be in the pool with what they had on. That's all I'm gonna say. They should be in the pool with what they had on.
Mhm.
That's all I'm gonna say. Bright day. I'm so wow, man.
Yeah, it's
That's what
it's
we doing.
it's what we're doing, coach.
Damn,
Psychologically, yeah, we're hurting psychologically,
damn.
and what's happening is what is abnormal, we've seen it so much, and mentally we've taken it in until we have made it normal. So they walking around and women showing their bodies like that now. It's just normal. It's just it
But
wasn't.
for me, man, I feel embarrassed, and it's not even me. And I'm a man. I felt embarrassed, man. I'm telling you. I'm like, come, man. Hey, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
coach. Something is wrong, coach. So I ask you, do you think, and I'm talking about the black man right now, I know as a people, do you think he or we suffer from PTSD?
I think we do, man. But I also think that we don't see it as that. But most of us, I think we don't see it as that. You know, I know some people might say history that long ago. We should forget it. No, we can't.
No.
We seen a lot of things right now. I remind you, you know. of way back then that's occurring. So no, you can't forget that, man. So with the effects of history, with our own old personal journeys, I heard some uh childhood stories with folks, man. I know they suffering from something
Mm.
with the stuff they went through. I know they got to be something, or the byproduct of whatever. I'm telling you, it traumatized me here. You know what I mean? So yeah, we do, man, but we don't see it as such, and we so busy trying to live in this moment, possibly looking ahead that we're not even focusing on that, not even realizing that, they're all connected, directly and indirectly, they're connected, you know. So if you want that journey to be smooth moving forward, you still gotta, tap in and take care of that as you keep inching forward. It's connected, So yeah, you know.
And coach, that's one of the biggest reasons now as an individual, I'm not even talking about us coming together as a group. Now, as an individual, we won't get it together no time soon because just like you said, a lot of us just don't see it that we need to address our mental health.
Yeah.
And so we're going to continue to act out certain ways because we would not accept that something is wrong mentally. You know, you got PTSD. Whenever you channeling your anger on the wrong people, a person, about your past, something is wrong. Something is wrong. I just want because either somebody need to hear it who's dealing with it, or someone knows someone. They can be like, "Wow, this person. Wow, okay."
So they can recognize what it is.
They can
Yeah,
recognize
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is. The
yeah,
reason the
yeah.
reason this person is acting out this way because they dealing with this post-traumatic stress disorder. Now you didn't know what it was. Now you should be able to get a better understanding what they're going through. See, a lot of us we don't even understand it. They channeling anger out on you. You wonder where this anger coming from toward me.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it should be directed at someone else. Because I tell you like this right here, your parents, your parents are the ones who's supposed to nurture you as a child. Your parents. So how you
True,
gonna put
true.
the blame? Yeah, so you got to stop blaming others if that didn't happen for you. If your parents didn't nurture you as a child, you cannot be, you got to go talk to your mama and your daddy about what happened.
If you can talk to them, because
If you could, so just here we go. So if they still living and you can't go talk to them about it, I just want you to see after all that time, look at all the trauma that's still there. And then if they're dead and gone, you're gonna have to get some help so you can let that go.
deal with that. Yeah.
But just imagine if they still living and you are of age and you can't go talk to your parents about the past, that's still post-traumatic stress that goes on. And then what
They can,
happens?
yeah.
Go ahead
They can
on.
easily say, man, I can remember. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember that.
A lot of
I
times,
can't remember
a
that.
lot of times, I've talked to people that tried to go back and have that conversation, and they was literally what you just said. They was literally told, "Oh, I ain't say that. I don't remember that." Oh,
And that's their way. I mean, just think about it. No, that's the old way of dealing with that problem now. Think about it. Yeah, that's how they dealt with it. And that's how they want us to deal with it. But once you recognize what it is, man, you got to clean up your life, your mental. It's your mental. You got to clean that up. They can't clean that up for you.
you got to heal. As we've been
So
talking about on
yeah,
many videos, you got to learn now, especially as you got older. It's crazy you 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, and you still traumatized about something that somebody did or somebody said or something. Whoa, you now as an individual
And
got to get it together.
as we're talking here, man, and I'm reflecting, and I know we're talking about men, but I'm an experienced, I experienced this female who
Yeah.
was in her 40s, and her mama used to trigger her, man, trigger her. I couldn't understand it because that was new for me. I never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I put it there. I said, why every time you have to deal with your moms, either on the phone or in person, your whole dynamic change, your mode change, everything. What? I said, I'm telling you. I said, this is not the first time. I thought maybe I'm just imagining things, but I've noticed that every time you deal with your moms, it's something. Did she ever, take care of, I don't know, man, but I was, I've never witnessed that. That's the first I've witnessed that with somebody. I'm like, man, something ain't right with that. Always came back mad, always flustered, always. I said, wow. But
P
at that time, I know number, P.S.D, no,
P
that,
T.
man, no P.T.S.D, I know none of that.
I'm
But
telling
I
you,
just
coach.
know she was literally shook. We used to say, man, you shook. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
PTSD, coach.
yeah, yeah,
PTSD, coach.
yeah,
A lot of us
yeah,
don't even realize we're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of us, we got to learn how to heal and let that mess go. Stop. I just said what last week I was saying. If you and a family member or whoever, a friend, if y'all having a conversation and
yeah,
y'all can
yeah,
have a
yeah,
rough paper, remember I
yeah.
just said that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
let if that conversation start going left, let that conversation go because either you or them haven't healed yet
Hmm.
and you going back trying to have that conversation with your parents, a lot of time once your parents get stuck in their ways and their mind gets set a certain way, you just gonna have to be cordial and respectful.
Respectful, yeah.
It's you just
Wow.
yeah, these are facts. You just gonna have to be cordial because a lot of times your parent may tell you, I don't remember that. I didn't do that. I don't remember that. So
Mm.
let's just look at it for real. And I want to tell you this. It's a reason you're overeating. It's a reason. There's a
Man, don't
dis
tell people that. They're not trying to hear that.
ain't that sound? Coach, it's a reason. There's a disorder that's going on with you. There's a reason you're overeating. It's something that is mentally wrong. There is a reason that you're not
Mm.
showing yourself love. There's a reason.
I hear people say, oh, I'm a foodie. Really? When did that word come
Do
to
you
being?
understand what I'm
Okay, all
saying?
right. Okay.
Do you, do you understand what I'm saying? Instead of addressing what's making you a foodie, there's a yeah, right. Yeah, there is something wrong.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that you're eating is just out of control. It's something that you're not addressing that you need to
Mm.
address. Yeah. And let me tell you something. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, like I always say, and you still blaming someone else for your condition, then you need to get help. You ain't got it together. You 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, and you still blaming somebody else for your condition. You need to get some help. Something wrong.
Hey, man, you'll be surprised, man. I'm like, folks, man, I think when they're talking, man, they don't realize that they're revealing certain things about themselves.
Absolutely.
They don't even realize that.
Absolutely.
You think you're just talking. No, you're revealing a lot about yourself, man. But
And
you
when
know.
someone become conscious themselves, they can listen to you and see what's coming out of your brain.
Mhm.
Right. They can see what's coming out of your brain. When I'm having conversations with people, all I'm doing is listening to what you're really thinking. I'm just listening to what you're really thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saying it's coming out your brain, coming out your mouth, coming out your brain, coming out your mouth. I'm checking you out.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this right here, coach. Black men in America experience PTSD at significantly higher rates than any other group.
I can easily agree with that, man.
You can pull it up.
I can easily agree with that without stats or anything, man. I'm telling you. By just reading, observing, listening to folk, yeah, man. Folk been through some stuff, man.
And
You
that's
know,
one of the reasons.
yeah,
That's one of the reasons for the things that we've been through as a
yeah.
people, and we wasn't taught about how to handle and how to deal with our mental health. And
Man, too.
yeah, and the prevalence of PTSD was highest among blacks in totality.
You can see that. Yeah, you can see that.
Once
Yeah,
again, for what we've been through, and so I
yeah.
would say this right
Still
here.
going through.
Still,
Shit.
yeah, still going through.
Still going through.
Still going through.
Still going through, man.
And so I'm gonna close with this, coach, and I'm gonna let you close. Whatever trauma that is trapped in your subconscious mind that influence your behavior or the way you feel, get you some help. Get you some help, because all the drinking and all the smoking and all the overeating and all the anxiety and the all the stress and being depressed and just your destructive behavior, when you're not caring for yourself, you just constantly walking around, your hair not done, you're unshaved as a man, you're not groomed, you're not bathing, you're not. It's something wrong, family. It's something wrong, and it's time for us to talk about it, and it's time for us to begin to heal. But it's something. And I chose this first topic to talk about was PTSD, because it's something that runs rapidly through the Black community that we don't understand that's happening to us. But that post-traumatic stress disorder, a lot of us carry that at a very high rate. And we got to learn how to heal from it. We got to learn how to, whatever can happen in the past, we got to find a way to heal from it without self-medicating on alcohol and drugs and food. Because a lot of times, whatever we've dealt with, those are the things that we run to first a lot of times: alcohol, drugs, and food. So we got to find ways. And then you got to think about this, fam. This is something you got to think about. I told you, if you 40, 50, 60, I don't care what age you are, but I'm saying as you get older and you walking around and you know that you're overweight or obese and you know that it's not good for your well-being, where is the love for yourself? I just asked you that. Where is the love for yourself? Where is the love for yourself? Go ahead on, coach.
I'm just big bone, man. So
That's crazy.
just big bone.
That's crazy.
Man,
That's crazy.
all joke aside, man, at the end of the day, it's your life. It's your life. Now, logically thinking, I would think that you would want the best for yourself, regardless of how rough the past was. Let's say, regardless of how rough the present is, you still want the best for yourself. You know. So what you gonna do? You gonna give up? You gonna roll like it is? What you gonna do? It won't hurt to try, man. You can still turn it around. You're still breathing. You're still alive.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
You're still alive. So what's stopping you other than you? I should say, who's stopping you other than you? You stopping you. You know, you can dress it up all you want to, man. And I'm talking about literally. You can dress it up all you want to. It's still gonna be there. The next day and the following day. So what are you gonna do about it? It's your life, man. You know, like you said, we always get a little response when we talk about this topic, but it's true. And I think a lot of people shy away from it. It probably maybe hits home, and forgetting about it means dealing with it. But no, you're not really dealing with it. You just avoid it. You know, it's gonna pop up. Hopefully, it don't pop up in a way that's devastating to the rest of your life. Hopefully, man. So see about yourself before it reach a point where you just lose it and you can't dial back. You know what I mean? It's that bad, man. So we just giving you a heads up. That's all. You know.
And I'm gonna tell you something. By you saying that, Coach, I hope that we can address those issues before it get to that life threatening uh part. You understand? Or you lose your life, or you take someone else's life.
It's like, yeah.
Because we seeing that a lot right now. We seeing that a lot in our black men, especially taking the ladies out. We're seeing that.
Man, that
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot. And
you
so,
cannot be an even keel doing something like that, bro.
hmm,
Even if you dislike her, she's carrying a fetus, man. You
hmm,
even think about that? Nah, man, we know that's mental. We
that's
know that's mental, bro. That's mental. Come on,
absolutely,
man.
absolutely. And so, family,
Uh,
I hope that you just sit down for a minute and just kind of think about how your life going, where you are as an individual. You ain't got to talk to nobody to start off. Just kind of sit down and do a self-assessment. And then if you see where you need help, get you some help. I got plenty of people in organizations and mental health places if you need to speak. Sometimes you may not need a mental health place. You just may need to have a sharp mentor, someone to speak with, someone that you trust, that you could take
mhm.
advice from. You know, you ain't got to always
True, true,
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to always go and do. No, you just need to admit that you need help. Find someone you know has common sense. That's just find somebody you know has common sense and sit down and begin to talk to them, someone you know you could trust. And I know it's hard for us to trust folks. Yeah, because
Yeah.
your business be all over.
All on social media,
Your business be all over the
yeah.
place. But that's going to be on you know what I'm saying, to sit down as an individual and kind of analyze your life and see, are you drinking too much, you smoking too much, you eating too much, or you drug too. You going to have to do that as an
Or you
individual.
shopping too much.
Are you shopping too much?
A lot of
Hey,
y'all, come
eh,
on now, you dressing it up. You shopping too much, man.
okay. All these disorders out there. So, like I said, they got them out there from A to Z. It's over 200 of them. So you can go pull them up, and I guarantee you, if you read them, you're gonna see. I had one to several, but I'm just gonna start at several and many more that you may be dealing with, because you're gonna have
Mm.
more than one. But it's some work to be done, especially in the black community. So, family, just make sure we go and check our mental health, man, and check yourself and get yourself together. And whatever it is that happened in the past that you can't do nothing with, you got to heal from it and you got to move on from it. So, coach, it's a minute, 30 seconds. If you're done, you're done. If not, you got the end part.
Let me say this. I'm
Yeah,
still working on me. Okay.
absolutely.
I'm not
Absolutely.
medicated or anything. I'm still working on me.
Right.
So what's your excuse? I'm
Right.
just saying, what's the
Right.
excuse? Come on now. What's your excuse? I know I got to keep myself on an even keel, so to speak. I'm just saying. I ain't telling you anything wrong with me. I'm just saying I got to keep myself with a certain even keel. So what's your
Absolutely.
excuse? Come on, man. It ain't too late, man. It ain't too late, man.
All right. Well, coach, that's we'll leave it right there. So hopefully they take the advice that you get. If they don't take nothing else through the whole video, if they listen through it, hopefully they can take that end part right there and go take care of themselves. And until the next time we come together, take care of yourself.
Do the same, man.
Yes, sir.